My dear friends, welcome to Rajashekar classes on applied data science with Python. This is lecture number 129. In this lecture, we will try to understand stratified random sample. First, we will try to understand what is strata. Population is divided into non-overlapping subpopulations called strata. We know what is population. I already discussed what is population in my previous lecture. Here what am I doing? Here I am dividing this population into this is, let me say, subgroup 1. Yes, this is subgroup 2. This is subgroup 3. I am dividing this population into 3 subgroups, isn't it? I can say all these subgroups are mutually exclusive. What type of subgroup? I can say mutually exclusive subgroups, or I can say non-overlapping subgroups. Non-overlapping subgroups, isn't it? This you must understand. Means intersection of any two subgroups is an empty set. But how can I form these subgroups? Depending on some characteristic. If you observe carefully, in subgroup 1, there must be homogeneity in subgroup 1, and there must be homogeneity in subgroup 2. There must be homogeneity in subgroup 3. If I compare subgroup 1 and subgroup 2, they must be heterogeneous. If I compare subgroup 3 and subgroup 2, they must be heterogeneous. Within the subgroup, they must be homogeneous. Across the subgroups, they are heterogeneous. Each non-overlapping subgroup is known as strata. That is strata, isn't it? What is stratified random sampling? That name itself says you have to take samples from stratas. We know what is strata. Let me define like this. Stratified random sampling is a method of sampling that involves the division of population into smaller subgroups known as strata, into smaller non-overlapping subgroups, mutually exclusive subgroups. From these subgroups, you have to take sampling. That is known as stratified random sampling. As I told you, maximize homogeneity within the strata and maximize variance across the strata. What is the purpose? What can I do after forming this? After forming subgroups, as I told you, there is, let me say again, there is a population. From this population, let me assume I have formed 3 stratas. STR1, strata 1, let me say STR2, strata 2, STR3, strata 3. I have 3 stratas. Now, how can I select sample? Means we already know SRS. In previous lecture, I already discussed what is SRS. I have to apply. What is SRS? Simple random sample. I already discussed simple random sample. I have to apply SRS and collect sample from each strata. How will it be? We will try to understand with simple illustration. Just sample selection is always based on SRS, but here we will collect samples not from population. We will collect sample from stratum, or isn't it? This why are we doing this? It's simple. What is the necessity of stratified random sampling? Means it is helpful, I can say, potential for reducing sampling error, isn't it? Means this particular sampling technique is useful to reduce the error. How will it be? We will try to understand. A random sample is selected from each stratum. That's what I told you. What is the selection process here? Random sample is selection process is your sample must be selected from each stratum, and what is the reason behind stratified random sampling is it is simply to reduce the sampling error. How one can reduce sampling error, we will try to understand after few seconds. Just let me say this is my population. What is my population here? Let me assume this is my population. What is my population size? Let me say this is capital N. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3 rows means my population size is 30. Now I am interested in selecting a sample of size, let me say 12. I am interested in selecting a sample of size 12. How can I select? By using your stratified sampling. If you carefully observe this one, this must be dividing into non-overlapping subgroups. That's what I told you. Non-overlapping subgroups, isn't it? Non-overlapping subgroups, or I can say mutually exclusive subgroups. This each mutually exclusive subgroups. Each subgroup is known as strata. That you must understand. How can I divide depending on what characteristics? If you observe this population carefully, you can find 3 categories of images. First category, blue guys. Just see, he is a blue guy, blue guy, blue guy, blue guy. Here also I have blue guy. Here also I have blue guy, blue guy, blue guy, blue guy, blue guy. Isn't it? There is another set. If you observe carefully, what is that other set? It is simple and straightforward. There is block guys. Where is my? This is block guy, block guy, block guy. Here also I have block guy. Just see, block guy. Here also I have block guy, block guy, block guy, block guy. Yes, I have block guys. First category is I have blue guys, one category, and another category is block guy. And what about other category? I have ladies. Just see, lady, 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 lady. Just see ladies? Yes, lady. Means I can say here I have 3 category of people. What are they? First one is blue guys, and black guys, and black guys and girls, ladies. Let me say ladies. These are 3 categories. Means depending on the gender. Here, what is my grouping criteria? My how am I going to form strata? Simple. Depending on color and gender. Depending on color and gender, if I form these, just now what is my intention? I have to form. How many stratas can I form? I can form, just I am forming the strata, just moving, just see, I am forming the stratas. After some stage, what happens? This is my, if you observe carefully, just see, this is my original population. This is my original population from which I have formed. This is, let me say, strata 1. Strata 1. This is, let me say, strata 2. Isn't it? Strata 2. This is, let me say, strata 3. How many stratas here do I have? I have 3 stratas. One strata is related to blue guys. Another strata is related to black guys. Third strata is related to ladies. From these 3 stratas, I must select a sample of size 12. Isn't it? That is my small n equal to 12. What is my population size here? Population size is capital N equal to 30. How can I choose? Just it's simple and straightforward. What you have to do, you must give numbering for each member of a strata. This is number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In similar manner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we know SRS. Already I discussed simple random sample. What is my SRS? Simple random sample. I discussed in previous lecture. By using this particular technique, generate random numbers, computer generated random numbers, or you can have your random number table. From that random number table, just take any 4 samples here. And how many samples I need? I need my sample size is 12, isn't it? In that case, just by using random number generators, let me say some 2, so I don't know which number, 2, 6, 9 and 8. This may be first 2, 6, 9, 8. That may be the 4 members from this blue guys and black guys. That may be same 1, 2, 4, 3, something like that. And from ladies, and I may have 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. I don't know which numbers will it generate. Totally there are 3 stratas. From each strata I will collect 4 members so that I can form a sample size of 12. Let me consider one more simple example. This example, it is a stratified random sample population of FM radio listeners. For example, stratified random sample, this is population of FM radio listeners. If you observe carefully, the same concept I am applying. Whole population is divided into 3 stratum. This is stratum 1, strata 2, strata 3. I am dividing into 3 stratum. One strata is 20 to 30 year old, another one is 30 to 40 year old, another one is 40 to 50 years. You see that each stratum is homogeneous. Within a stratum, all of them are homogeneous. There is a homogeneity within the stratum, but in between the stratum, there is an heterogeneity. Why it is reducing sampling error? In first slide itself, we were saying that it reducing sampling error, isn't it? Why? Because you can find representative of all type of people in my sample, so that I can reduce sampling error. If you choose any member from 20 to 30, if you choose 20 to 30, all will have similar characters. If you choose some numbers from 40 to 50, all will have similar characters, homogeneous within the strata, so that I can find a representative from each strata. Means you can reduce the sampling error with this type of sampling technique. It is simple. First, here you must understand what is strata. If you understand strata, understanding stratified random sampling is not, it's a big task. It is simple and straightforward. If you observe carefully, there are 2 types of stratified random sampling. One is proportionate stratified sample. Proportionate stratified sample means that size of sample strata is proportional to the size of the population. I will repeat. Size of sample strata is proportional to the size of the population strata. Probability of unit being selected from the stratum is proportional to the relative size of the stratum in population. There may be disproportionate. Disproportionate means that name itself says proportion of the strata within the sample. It may not be the same. Just say proportion of the strata within the sample are different than the proportion of the strata within the population. There is difference in between population and strata in terms of proportions. That name itself says, you can understand. Just go through. These are simple and straightforward technique. This is useful in solving many machine learning problems. I will discuss, I will continue my discussion in my next lecture, that is lecture number 130. Thank you very much.